For this trigo question, I would say it's a very classic question. It's a very classic question that marry addition formula and the special angle. So do recall that in trigo, the special angles are 30 degree, 45 degree, and 60 degree. So first of all, you do need to break it down into the two special angle and execute your tangent A plus B formula. So that is the first awareness. So because of the special angle, there's a lot of surds involved. So you break down your formula. Okay, you will get tangent 30, tangent 45. All these are under the special angle. Okay, so if you already forgotten a little bit on special angle, so do take note. So for example here, if you have pressed tangent 30, okay, let me press it. So if you have pressed tangent 30, your calculator will not return you a surds. Your calculator would have given you this plane of decimal. So in order to switch to surd, okay, the trick is to press it with a square. The trick is to continue your calculator, but you continue it with a square. You will realize that you will get you 0.33333, which is a one surd. So in a way, you work backwards with the square, you will get a square root. You will get a square root like this, which is 1 over root 3. So if let's say that you forgot, so that is how you can get your surds. So that's under special angle. Okay, and then from here, okay, if you look subsequently, if you are here, you are already correct. So you actually need to go through quite a bit of rationalization. So for me, I do not like to rationalize when there is a fraction in a big fraction. So if you observe very carefully, this is a small fraction. I got two small fractions in a big fraction. So you can start your rationalization here, but it's just that you will be faced with a lot of working, maybe more fraction. So what I'm doing is my next step, I'm not doing my rationalization yet. I will prefer to remove the surds. So I remove I want to simplify the fraction in the big fraction. So what I'm doing is I'm going to multiply root 3 over root 3. So this is not rationalization. I have not started to rationalize. I just want to remove the square root from the denominator. So I will just multiply the numerator by a root 3, and I will multiply the denominator by a root 3. So in a way, I multiply. So if you take a look, root 3 multiplied by the numerator, root 3 multiplied by the denominator. So if you multiply, this will cancel off. That's how I gotten the 1. And then that's how I gotten the root 3 here. So I'm trying to get rid of the small denominator to facilitate the rationalization. Then subsequently, this is the real step of rationalization. So here I'm doing the rationalization. So from here, this will be my rationalization process. Okay, so that is the thing on addition formula and special angle. I think this is quite a classic question. It's like it has been around like all the time, and it's quite one of the foundation thing that you need to know when you learn addition formula. Okay, subsequently, the next part, right? The question already say you are supposed to use part A to find secant square. So you must look at what you already gotten in part A. So you must see what you have gotten in part A. So even let's say your part A is not successful. So say your part A is not successful. You just use the part A answer. So what you must think of will be, you must think of this basic formula. So some get stuck because they didn't realize that, oh, I forgot I can use this formula. But this formula will be given in the formula list. So it should lead you to think about using this formula. then how are you supposed to use this formula? That means, right, you can change your x to 75. So if you change your x to 75, that's where you can start to use tangent 75. Because the tangent 75 that you have gotten is already a 9/3. So from here, you just expand and then you simplify. So I will say this one is quite a basic question also. If you look around, it's quite, you will see this type of question. I will say it's an OO question, this one. Okay, so subsequently, so this is how you get your secant square. And then after this part, you realize that the last part is another hence. You realize that the last part is a hence. That means, right, this answer is supposed to help me to get my cosine square. I will say this one is easier. Secant square, how is secant square related to cosine square? So they are related by this formula. So they are related by this formula. So you can make, so from here, you can do something like cross multiplication. So you can do a cross multiplication. So when you do a cross multiplication, your aim is to get your cosine square 75. That's where you divide the third over. And then that's where you got to begin your whole process of rationalization. So subsequently, all these are my rationalization. So all this, right, you can check whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, you can check whether your answer is correct or not. So for example, how do I check? So during O level, you should be checking to make sure, then you do not need to care about whether this question got careless mistake or not. You can punch this on your calculator. So you punch this on your calculator, you will get 0.06698. So you also punch this on your calculator. So if you've gotten the same decimal value, well, you don't have to care already. The whole question is done. So you can chuck it one side. Okay, so it's something that is checkable. So do check that you got it, and then at least you secure this question. So this one is a very classic question on addition formula and special angle that involves